For ad-free episodes, as well as early access and bonus episodes, check out our Patreon. Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that, for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We've got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 353. My name, of course, Casey, aka Razinon. And today, I am joined once again by young Tanner. For an episode of the podcast.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying, right? Yeah, so
they're saying.
Welcome to the show. Today we have a topic that we're going to talk about, and that topic is whatever you guys want, basically. So today we had hoped to. We didn't really schedule anything in particular on Monday because we usually have our show topics kind of settled on Monday. But in this case, we were hoping that between Monday and now, we would have gotten something about the game Call of Duty MW2 that we play. And we haven't gotten dick all. Haven't gotten dick diddly squat. So in that case, what we're going to be doing this fine afternoon is answering some more questions. So as a reminder, because we are getting caught up here, join the fucking Discord, number one. And if you wanted to ask us a question, whether that be about Call of Duty, video games in general, or something unrelated to either of those, join the Discord. There's a channel called Q&A Questions. Ask us a question in there, and we will answer it when we do our next Q&A episode. That's how that works. So that's what we're going to be doing today because, we've talked a lot about MW3 and we've kind of covered everything we know about MW3 thus far already. So there's not really much else new to say on that topic. We've kind of exhausted that in our last two episodes. And then likewise with MW2, Warzone 2, they haven't addressed the game in a month. So not really much new to say there either.
No announcements, no updates, no nothing.
No
crickets,
blog posts.
That's what we're getting. Crickets, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting some crickets, and that's about
Season
it.
Reloaded comes out next Wednesday, I guess. They haven't even acknowledged that. I mean, just nothing. They've done nothing.
That's correct. They're miserable dog shit and trash. Yeah.
Not that they were ever checked in, but now they're fully checked out, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, today what we're going to do is answer questions. So just as a kind of heads up for those of you who are relatively new, our Q&A episodes they run the gamut. We might talk a lot about COD depending on what the questions we are asked are. We might not talk about COD that much if people aren't asking that many Call of Duty related questions. So if you're really only into it for the COD content, be warned. This whole the entire episode won't be about Call of Duty. I'm sure some of it will be, but be warned. We're gonna meander a little bit, but for the people who give it a chance anyway, even if they're originally like a COD purist, people quite enjoy our Q&A episodes, whether we're talking about COD or not, and to what degree. So give it a try. But that's what we're doing today. So,
and if you want the COD content, next Saturday will be first impressions on the Season Reloaded. So we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back
full force next week.
Yes, absolutely. So before we get into it, though, a couple announcements. We have our latest Patreon episode up, our Damascus patrons behind the scenes episode. It was a pretty long behind the scenes episode. and I quite enjoyed it. Talked about the new supercomputer that I have and Tanner doesn't. Talked about Opus and our short form content and how that's going. Some other little behind the scenes things. We gave the Damascus patrons, by the way, an exclusive announcement that we've announced before we made it public, and we still haven't made it public yet, and we're not going to yet. But we shared some very exciting news about something happening in the near future with the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast that only the Damascus patrons know about. And we talked about that in our behind the scenes episode as well. And if you are a Damascus patron, or if you become one now, that is now live. You can go and listen to that very exciting little topic that I'm alluding to here. But we talked about a lot of other things as well. How'd you enjoy that one, little tiny bud?
Yeah, good. A lot of
we got
IRL
no feedback
stuff
on it, which kind of makes me furious, by the way.
Well, it went live, this morning?
Oh, this morning, I guess,
To a podcast on a Saturday,
Yeah, that's true.
We probably won't get feedback till Monday or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. We talked a lot about some things. One exciting thing, I just checked. We haven't received a message back yet regarding that thing, by the way.
Got it.
So I
Okay.
guess we're just not doing it. So sorry we announced something to you guys that we're not doing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's just fake, I
we
guess.
lied to you guys. We got on the internet and we lied.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly a lot of it was like IRL stuff, more behind the scenes about the AI clips we've been doing. So yeah, I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. So, other than that, we did have our Damascus hangout last night, by the way. It was fun. We did some customs. Unfortunately, the Havoc game mode that we planned on doing is now taken out of the game, so we couldn't do that. But we did some gunfight. We did some hardpoint. It was a fun time, and then we had a couple drinks and just kind of chatted. I was up till about midnight. I was up till actually exactly midnight, I think, my time. Just hanging out, talking with the boys. Had a little old school vibe to it.
Screamed in their mic, L.
Yeah, L apparently threw up in so many different locations that he's not sure if his room is puke free anymore or not. He's like, I think I cleaned it all, but I'm not sure. Imagine.
Yeah, we had to move him out of the channel a couple times, just like the old days.
Yeah, just a classic. Yeah, that was the L classic for sure. Yeah, but it was a fun little time. Had some new frogs there, which was cool, coming out of their little tiny shells, their little tiny tortoise shells. Little tiny tortoise turtle shells. And I unveiled my secret talent, which is tongue twisters. As some of you may or may not know, there doesn't exist a tongue twister I can't do first try correctly. The only way I will be beaten by a tongue twister is if you just make me say the same thing 20 times in a row. Sure. Okay. Eventually I'll fail that.
Yeah.
But if you do like one really long tongue twister that's like different things, like different words, or I mean, obviously they're going to repeat some words. That's the thing. That's fine. And I'll just nail it every time, first try. But if you make me say any sentence 10 times in a row, I'll probably, fuck it up. I don't think that counts. But anyway, I'm a tongue twister god, just so you guys know. And I'm undefeated. And I always get them first try. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind there. But, yeah, the hangout was fun. We do them every month for our Damascus patrons. They take place in Discord. So if you want to come to the next one, we usually do them toward the end of the month, and we usually do them on Friday evenings. And that was a very good one. I had a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then last announcement, on the topic of the Patreon, we did something new with our YouTube Shorts / TikToks. We made 4 TikToks / YouTube Shorts out of a recent Patreon bonus episode where we were talking about Gamescom and MW3 and the MW3 integration. We already kind of talked about what this episode was about, I think on Thursday. That episode is still now live, but if you want to, if you're like not a patron and you're not sure if you would like the bonus episodes or not, go to our YouTube, look at our latest YouTube shorts. If it says hashtag Patreon exclusive in the title, then it is a YouTube short that is taken out of that latest bonus episode. So you can go take a look at some of those. There will be 4 total. And and maybe get a sense for what the episode is like and what episodes of our Patreon bonus episodes are like generally as well. And those are also going to be on our TikTok with the same hashtag Patreon exclusive tag as well. So yeah, if you just wanted to check out the bonus episodes and kind of get a little teaser before you spend your hard-earned $5 for an entire month, by the way, just do it. It's so cheap. Then yeah, you could do that. Go to our YouTube, go to our TikTok, and you can get a little sneak preview.
Yeah.
2 of them are spicy red hot takes, by the way. One of them kind of blew up on YouTube Shorts. Got like 2,000 views in like 2 or 3 hours. Where we said sniping was never overpowered in Warzone, which is absolutely true. But yeah, anyway, go take a look at those as well. And yeah, let's get into some fucking questions. What do you boys and girls say? Oh, we have some super chatters. All right. Since you guys asked questions, I'll save them for after the jingle. And yeah, just a reminder, when we do Q&A, if you want to just skip the line, you can just super chat and at $5 United States dollars more, and we'll just answer your question right now. You just cut in line. It's pay to win. Yeah, for sure. So you can do that. And we already have some people preempting this, in fact, which is fantastic. So I'm going to take a giant gulp of water. Here we go.
Get that gulp, man. Here it comes. He takes some big gulps of water. You should consider taking just more smaller gulps instead of like 2 giant gulps.
Yeah, I should. The problem is this, I would have 26-inch arms if I did that. Because look at how big this is. I can't go through the labor of picking up this giant gallon fucking cup for a little pussy sip, you know?
Yeah, I guess. That's cool though.
If I'm fucking operating a crane to get some water into my mouth, I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm gonna be gulping. But anyways,
we should get those beer hats with like the straws.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Just do that for episode 400 celebration. Put some brew in there. Just drink out of our little beer hats.
You know what we should do, dude? Get camelbacks. What are your thoughts on camelbacks?
I have one. I've got one about probably 6 feet away from me in a closet over here, actually. Yeah.
I'm not kidding. We probably have 12.
Yeah, that would go banger right
dude,
there.
Dude, a little great, podcast camelback. Yeah, dude. That's a solid fucking idea.
Yeah, podcasting is hard. People don't realize it. You need a lot of water for it.
It is. That's true. You got to stay hydrated. Yeah, you got to stay lubricated for sure. So anyway, welcome to the show. Today, Q&A. So we're pulling questions from our Discord, unless you super chat, and then those people get to skip the line. So first is Tinhead with the 10 United States dollars super chat asks, thank you very much, buddy. What do you guys think of the throwing knife taking 2 hits? I think we actually just talked about this on Patreon, as a matter of fact. But since you asked nicely, we can answer that. What are your thoughts on a 2-hit throwing knife?
On Patreon. Yeah, so it's bugged right now, and you can get a 1-hit if you have an SMG out and throwing knives equipped, and it's to their chest.
I think he's referring
2 hits,
to MW3 multiplayer. Remember?
Does it take 2 hits in multiplayer?
I'll
When you slice people with it?
No. Remember where I was saying, like, I don't know how they're going to balance snipers? And then I was like, oh, by the way, these knives only tweeted about how throwing knives are going to take 2 hits. And then
so he's referring about the next game. Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm assuming he's referring to, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, or he could just be talking about how they're in Warzone now. Yeah, I don't know, Tin. Why don't you tell us real quick what you're talking about? Because in multiplayer, I don't care. Like, very few people will care in MW3. It is dumb, I guess, because it is fun. Okay, he's talking about MW3. All right. The only reason people complain is because, like we said on Patreon, they want to get the throwing knives off rip and like search and destroy or something and get that clip. That's the only reason they care. They are fun to use, though. I use them when we do Damascus customs, actually. I prefer using throwing knives over my gun because they're so much fun. I probably got 30 throwing knife kills last night. Maybe 40, honestly. I would get a ton. I'd be throwing those things. So it's fun, but if you have more health, they become overpowered pretty quickly, yeah. So I don't really know. I'd have to play it and actually see how it feels. Because they're saying the game has 150 health. Like in theory, yeah, it should mean the TTK is just 50 health more, and that's how it's going to feel. But also, if some of the guns are like considered overpowered, it's just saying 150 health doesn't really mean anything until you see like how the guns are balanced pretty much. So it's probably necessary in multiplayer if we have that health, though. If it's like Cold War time to kill and throwing knives one hit, they would be pretty busted. Yeah, I don't remember if Cold War had throwing knives. Did it?
I don't know.
I feel like it didn't.
Why can't I? Hold on. I'm trying to I'm trying to keybind push to mute, and it's not letting me use my control key. Hold on. Is my control key working?
Cold War had tomahawks. Yeah, I don't remember
it is.
that. Huh. If I don't remember, well, I also didn't play that much Cold War multiplayer because the game sucked and wasn't fun. I was gonna say maybe I don't remember it being an issue. I don't remember that ever being a thing. But throwing knives, they just come out so quickly too. So like even in the middle of a gunfight, even in MW2 right now, with the time to kill as fast as it is, you can get shot a couple times and get off a throwing knife and still get the kill. So it would be pretty busted if it's MW3. You could do that all the time as well. But yeah, I don't remember. You guys that played Cold War, if it was overpowered there. Yeah, if it was a tomahawk also, it probably was a lot slower moving through the air. They should just add a delay. Like a delay to throwing the knife then. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, is it because it's already bound?
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry guys. I'm trying to set up a keybind to toggle mute through Streamlabs so I don't have to sit up every time. But it's not letting me use the same key I use in Discord. Like, control is just not a valid keybind, I guess.
Well, you're doing something right there because it keeps muting when you were just talking.
Well, that's because it's in Discord that button works.
Yeah.
But it's not muting for my stream when I do that. So I need to figure that out. Anyway. Yeah, so I quite like it, and I did say this on Patreon. I think the throwing knife, I don't know how it's going to work in MW3. I'm assuming it's going to be 149 damage, and the health total is 150. So it's not a one-hit kill on someone full health, but it's a one-hit kill on anyone who's weak at all. I think that's cool, actually. I like that. Because having a lethal that comes out of your hand that quickly, that is also a one-hit kill in a game with a slower TTK like MW3 is going to have, could get very fucking annoying. And for those of you who played like BO4, you'll remember knives in general and the ballistic knife were incredibly cringe and annoying and hard to kind of balance because the time to kill again in that game was slow, and one-hit kill weapons were just frustrating because you could like put a bunch of damage into someone and then they just look at you and just press a button and you're dead. And that problem will be exacerbated for me when we get MW3 if there are one-hit kill weapons that are overpowered, because unlike BO4, I will be playing against people with controllers and aim assist, which I did not have to contend with in BO4. So they're not going to miss their throwing knife either. So I think if it does 149 damage, I think that's probably best case scenario. Because then you can still like you could still use it and it would still be quite good. Like it's most of the time going to be a one-hit kill if it does 149 damage. If it does like 75 damage, I think that would be dog shit. I think that would be a bad way to balance the throwing knife. I think it should do actually 149 so that if they're weak
or it should at least one shot to the head then, because getting a throwing knife to the head is not easy and common. Like head and neck, one tap.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good.
Jack said they should one shot to like the tummy up. That's already how they work right now. And you don't ever get a two hit because it's so easy to hit the chest. No one's ever hitting you in the foot with a throwing knife.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, I I like it though. But yeah, thank you very much, dude, for the absolute $10 super chat, skipping the line. Mike, also with a $10 super chat, $9.99, excuse me, says, you guys want more money? Yes, we do. Thank you for your question. And thank you for your super chat, buddy. Much appreciated. All right. So yeah, once again, if you guys want to skip the line, you can super chat $5 or more, shamelessly at begging for money. If you're into that, or you could post in Discord and we'll answer it at a time. So yeah, now we're going to Discord here since you guys don't like us that much and haven't super chatted anymore. This is an exceptional question from Jax. I really like this one. Jullable Jax. What is a product or service that you would give a 10 out of 10 rating? Great question.
A product or service? I'm gonna have to think about this. I don't know. My answers that come to my mind are like food type places, but not like a product or a service. I don't know. What is yours?
Oh, I have so many, but well, I think I have a lot. But the first one that comes to mind is Amazon Prime. This is a 10 out of 10 service. It always works.
That's true. Yeah. Amazon Prime's great.
It's appropriately priced. It's fast, it's convenient, it's easy. There's a reason that like more than 50% of American households have someone with Prime there. That Amazon Prime is the definition of a 10 out of 10 service. It's fantastic. It doesn't get better.
It's so easy to do returns too on Amazon now.
Yeah,
it didn't used to be the case like 10 years ago. It's like if you bought something, you were just stuck with it. Now it's like buy so much shit and it's like, oh, if I don't like it, I'll just return it. They don't give a fuck. Open, package, use. I just say return. They say, okay, just go throw it back at the UPS store. I go to the UPS store and I'm like, here, I want to return this item that has no packaging whatsoever. They don't ever ask questions. They're like, all right. They just scan the thing and I get my money back. I'm like, sick, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Very weird. Very weird indeed. That is, God, it's so fucking strange that I can't.
You should just figure it out.
I can't.
Know what you should? No, I was gonna say you should get a foot pedal, but you probably don't even have your feet on the ground there.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyways,
it would be perfect if it would just use the fucking control key, but it doesn't let me use it. It's so annoying.
Try using any other button.
I don't want to.
Okay.
Actually, well, yeah, no, I don't want to. Well, I could. What if I used like... No, fuck yourself. What about the end key? How does that?
Don't care. Okay, I got my product or service. I'm not kidding. My favorite thing I've probably ever bought in my life is my espresso machine. I'm not kidding. It's probably my favorite purchase. You know how you buy things that are like sometimes kind of expensive and then you regret it later?
Yes.
It was like $700. I bought it 3 years ago. I was so worth it. It was so worth it, without a doubt. Because, you know, they have like a bunch of, you know, you get like the stupid Keurig or like Nespresso machines that are like $100, dog shit, trash, whatever. But holy fuck, it was so worth it. 10 out of 10, it's fantastic. Use it every single morning. It's so delicious, man. That reminds me, I need to order beans, actually. I'm almost out. But yeah, that's mine, is my Breville Barista espresso maker. That's my 10 out of 10 product. Fuck, it's so good.
There are
every time people come over here,
of things that are 10 out of 10s if I really thought about it.
Yeah.
More.
Every time we have like friends or people come over, like, oh, you have like this espresso machine. Like, do you guys like it? Is it worth it? We've like always thought about buying one, and we're always like, fuck yes, it is so worth it. It's so delicious, man. So much better than regular coffee. I don't like regular coffee now. I've been experimenting more with a lot of different drinks lately. I've been drinking a lot more straight espresso. Like in the afternoon, if I'm like feeling tired, I'll drink some straight espresso. I've been doing Americanos and stuff, which I actually had never made an Americano. Never had one up until like 2 weeks ago. You know, that's basically just how you make black coffee with an espresso machine. It's just water and you do espresso. I've been doing a lot of that, but yeah, great purchase. If we're home, it's used every single morning.
Interesting.
That's probably my favorite purchase ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one I would say that's a 10 out of 10 is God, there's a lot of things that are actually 10 out of 10s if I think about it. It's actually like an almost endless list, honestly. Because there are a bunch of like little things that are 10 out of 10s, but they're like kind of little, so like who cares? Like I have like a real camera, for example, as my webcam. It's not like a piece of shit Brio or whatever people use. I have like a real ass fucking like couple $1,000. I actually don't know how much it was. How much is a real camera like that Sierra buys? The lens is usually like 700, and then the camera itself without the lens is another like 500, right? It was probably about 1,500
I don't know.
bucks.
Hers
Anyway.
are like $2,000, and then
yeah, hers
lenses can
probably
be like 3,500. I feel like yours
crazy,
was.
yeah.
I remember yours was around 1,500 total.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So anyway,
I think
I
they
have
were
one of
both around
those.
like 600-700. Yeah.
Because it's a normal ass camera, it's supposed to be like operated in my hand, and you're supposed to like put batteries in it and then like recharge the batteries. But for streamers, there's this product that is just like, it's shaped like batteries, or like the battery that it would take, the rechargeable ones or disposable ones even. I don't know what kind of battery it is. But instead of being a battery, it slots in so the camera thinks it's a battery, and then you just plug it into an outlet, and it just forever has 100% battery power, basically. So that's a 10 out of 10. It works. It's never not worked. But like, who cares? You know what I mean? So that's like not a, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things like that. But Amazon Prime, I think, is my easiest.
Amazon Prime
example.
is probably the best. Yeah,
It has to be like the best example, right? Yeah, it's just so good.
Yeah.
Power GPU also, by the way, was 10 out of 10. They didn't upgrade me to Windows 11, so they're a 9 out of 10 actually, but it was almost a 10 out of 10. Power GPU did very, very, very well. I got a great little build though, but we need a promo code before I say 10 out of 10, so fuck you, Power GPU. I do have a supercomputer though, so just keep that in mind. So anyway, yeah, great question though. I like that question a lot. I'm a big fan of products and services that work well because everyone's happy. I just love it. But anyway, moving on. Tinhead with the $5 super chat, skipping the line. Stay mad if you asked a Discord question 8 months ago and you're getting fucking passed on. Get scammed.
Yeah.
Money prevails, dude. Tinhead, thank you for the super chat. What do you guys think about MW3 still having cross-gen? I think it's stupid. Just make it like BO3 was for Xbox 360 and PS3. I don't know what BO3 was like for Xbox 360 and PS3. But what do you think about MW3 being cross-gen?
Yeah, so I'm thinking he means like cross-gen, like we're still getting MW3 on the old Xboxes. That's what he's asking, right?
Means,
okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the second part of it means though, because I don't know what the BO3 for Xbox and PS3 was. But anyways, this has to be the last game they're putting on the old consoles. I'm honestly kind of surprised they still are. It is not hard to find the new Xbox or PlayStation 5. You can go on Best Buy, Amazon. You can walk into any store right now and easily buy one. They're not overpriced. Fucking hair in my mouth.
Jesus.
They've been out for what? 2 years, 3 years? They're not hard to find. They need to just stop making the games for the old gen. Because like, you're probably thinking like, that's dumb. Like, why does it matter? But it's because there's no way that they're developing the game as well as they could, having to put it on those old consoles, because they get the same game as us. So there are graphical things they can improve on that probably wouldn't hit our frames whatsoever, but there are things they have to do to make it playable on those older consoles. So it's for sure holding things back. I have a theory too that like having a older Xbox, I don't even know what they're called at this point. The new version of Xbox, old version of PlayStation, the new version of PlayStation, and PC all on the same cross-platform servers on Warzone. There's no way that's not causing issues. Like, I feel like that's something to do with like the lag and the shit servers we always have, and things they just obviously can't fix because they claim they fix it, and then 2 months later it comes back and they pretend like it's not an issue for another 3 months. Like I've been hearing that a bunch lately again, how many server issues there are. I feel like it just leads to so many problems having to put the game out on all these different consoles. There's no reason for them to keep putting it on these old consoles. So for 2024, they have to just leave it behind. It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
If people can't afford it, I mean, you can probably get the cheapest, newest Xbox or PlayStation for what, $300? You buy it used. You can probably get it used for $200, $250 or something. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's ridiculous. They don't need to keep putting it on the older consoles, I think. So it's for sure holding back everyone else's experience because of those people playing on a 12-year-old console.
That's the point, because some of you might be wondering, why the fuck do you guys care? The reason we care is because if you make a game that you're also going to put on, you know, old gen consoles, then you will necessarily have to limit like the draw distance, for example, or the texture resolution or whatever, because you're trying to make a game that can run on an old on a PS4 and can also run on a PS5, obviously, or computer or supercomputer like I have. So that's the issue with why people would care about it being cross-gen. I agree. I think it's pretty dumb as well. Well, I don't think it's dumb. I think it's smart. I think the reason they do it is because it's going to make them more money, which is almost certainly true. But like in this game, MW 2, I don't think the fact of it being available on older hardware took away from it at all. Like, I don't think MW 2 would be any different if they did not have cross-gen for it. I think it would still behave about the same as it does now. But eventually that won't be true. So for MW 3, it actually might be fine. Maybe it's not dumb. I don't really know. I'm not the guy to ask. You'd have to ask Freethy or fucking Drunk Kev or something. Yeah. But eventually, probably pretty fucking soon, they need to stop doing it because it will be holding back, you know, adults who can save money. And it's not, and by the way, it's not that you can't afford a new console if you're listening. You have an internet connection and electricity and indoor plumbing if you're listening to this. Guess what? You could afford a new console. You're just too fucking lazy or undisciplined to save some money every week to buy one. Because if you have enough money for an internet connection, you have enough money for a new, or especially if you have enough money for a PS4, or you ever did at one point, you also have enough money for a PS5. You just need to save some money. So do that. Grow up. Don't hold us back. So anyways, next question from Discord. Psych. Razinon's balls with the €10 super chat, which is like 15 United States dollars. We will absolutely take that, going above and beyond. And sorry about my dog. Asks, do you guys consider to play Warzone 1 because you're European? I'm hoping English isn't your first language. I'll let this slide. Do you guys consider... Tanner, can you read the question?
Do you guys consider to play Warzone 1 for a day and do a last episode about it and the differences to Warzone 2? You can only tell how bad Warzone 2 actually is after you went back once. Yeah, we just talked about this. I honestly don't know if we're going to end up playing it, because it's like we've played it for 2 years, 3 years, however long it was. I don't need to load back in to play it one more time to remember anything. We can watch gameplay if we want, but on like the anniversary or the date when the Warzone servers go offline, So probably September 23rd, we're planning on doing like a Warzone farewell podcast where we'll just talk about some things. I don't know, the highest moments of Warzone 1, the lowest. It's not going to be just Caldera. It's going to be just talking about Warzone in general. You know, just like get some nostalgia in there. Maybe talk about like our favorite POIs, our favorite guns, just some of the memories we had from it. Things that were good, things that were bad. But honestly, will we reinstall Caldera to play it for like an hour to do that? Probably not. No. I don't. There's no reason to go back and play it again. I don't care. Especially when it's going away.
I'm open to reinstalling it and playing it before we do that episode. If Tanner doesn't want to, I don't really care. It's not like I want to do that. So, you know, if he doesn't want to do it, then sure, I'm fine not doing that. We certainly don't need to, like he said. But we will 100% for sure be doing an episode on Warzone 1. A farewell to Warzone 1. We're for sure doing an episode on that. Whether we play Warzone 1 one more time before that episode is an open question. Looks like probably not, but maybe we will. We'll see what's going on. It's basically going to depend on if any other video games are fun at the time. So like if on September 20th there's a fun video game, then no, we're not reinstalling Caldera. But if nothing is fun and everything is dog shit, which is entirely possible, by the way, then we will probably be bored enough to where we're like, sure, we'll reinstall Caldera, play for 2 hours, and then do the episode after that. I just don't think it would matter very much.
Yeah, like I could tell you some things about it without going back and playing. Like the floating loot is excellent. We need that in Warzone too. It's so easy to see loot, grab loot, floats in a circle around a dead body. That's excellent. Visibility 1,000,000 times worse than Warzone 2. I can tell you that right away. The game just feels more fluid in Warzone 1. Like we don't need to actually go back and play it really to determine any of that at this point, I don't think, but
I think more than anything we'd have to like maybe watch some gameplay of it.
Yeah, I was even thinking like maybe we have like some of our old VOD. How long does Twitch save full VODs
watch
for?
Party? Ooh.
How long does Twitch save VODs? Like
I don't know, but
videos?
I feel like we would have something on YouTube, right? There's no full VODs of us playing Warzone 1 on Twitch, no. Unless we explicitly saved some.
Yeah. I remember doing that before, but I think it was Verdansk. I remember saving them.
That would be fun. Still Warzone 1.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see here.
So maybe we would do that. That would actually be more fun as an episode. Like kind of make it an event.
Oh, we've got a bunch of VODs and stuff. I've got one saved from 3 years ago. Warzone Quads 61 kill squad win.
Oh, okay,
I have another one of myself 19 kill win, 68 squad kills. We have clips. Yeah, I mean, I got anywhere from like 3-minute to 30-minute videos on my Twitch still.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we'll do a little watch party of a couple little. We can compile some little clips. Maybe what we'll do, if I'm feeling up to it, we'll take some of those short little clips. I'll just download a bunch of them, put them in Resolve, make a video, and then we could do watch a, I don't know, 10, 15-minute video of our clips, kind of react to them, and then kind of fold that into a send-off to Warzone 1. Make it a live event. If you guys donate more money to us, then we will do that for sure. If not, then maybe we'll do it. But that I
forgot I got a nuke on stream too. I have that saved.
Oh yeah, that does sound like a fun little idea. So we will
Iron Sight Grow nuke.
We will consider doing that. But we're definitely going to do an episode regardless. Yeah, for sure. So anyway, thank you very much, Razinon's German balls. I appreciate that, dude. Corey Irvin with the $5 super chat didn't ask a question. It's actually $4.99, so good thing you didn't ask a question because we won't fucking answer it. You're missing 1 United States cent, so you're gonna have to figure that out. I'm just kidding. If you want to ask a question, Corey, go ahead, and you can skip the line, dude. And thank you very much for the absolute super chat, dude. We appreciate that. Here we go. How much would I need to donate to play a trios with you guys? I'm dog shit though. There isn't an amount. Yeah. I mean, I guess there is an amount, but it would be absurd. We don't play with people. Every time, I was saying this before the show because I think someone else asked. Anytime Tanner and I want to play Warzone, we're full. It's like, oh, I think I'm going to run. I'm full. We're just full. That's just how it goes. So yeah, unfortunately, unfortunately, that is not in the cards. So if you were like a Saudi oil prince or something, and if you are, super chat more, right? Then I could give you a number, probably, sure, but a realistic one, nah, yeah, no, we're not. We don't really do that.
Yeah, we've never really done that. We kind of made that a thing all the way back in like Verdansk, honestly, when people would ask all the time. Then it's just, I don't know.
It feels
then a bunch of other
too.
people want to end up playing, and then, yeah, I don't know.
It feels kind of weird to be like, oh, you have to pay to play with us. It feels weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the real answer, honestly. But yeah, I don't know, man. It wouldn't be everything you're hoping it would be, also. So. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You're not missing anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not like,
it's not like you're playing with
game.
fucking Biffle and Shifty or something.
Yeah, we're not carrying you to the nuke skin for your weapon in Vondel. Trust me. So anyway, yeah. Thank you for the $5 super chat though, dude. Very much appreciate it. Get fucked and scammed, by the way. But yeah, thank you, buddy. All right. Next question is, who is it from, actually? Let's see. Oh, this is
Elijah's is interesting, but I don't really have an answer for it.
Well, because we have an event planned, I don't think I have an answer I'm willing to say either. Do you catch my drift on that?
Mm-mm.
You don't catch my drift, huh?
No.
Okay.
Sure what you're talking about.
Well, that's fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
That would be my answer, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, like popular conspiracy theories. Okay, so Elijah asked, what's the craziest conspiracy you've ever heard someone talk about that they 100% believed in? I'm assuming you mean I've heard someone talk about in real life, because obviously I've heard Alex Jones talk about like Sandy Hook, and like that might be up there. But like in my personal life, man, I heard some crazy shit in college, dude. I heard some crazy shit in college that I don't really remember, to be honest with you. But people would, and in college too, when I was not community college, but when I went to Long Beach, when I moved out and I was doing my undergrad, dude, we were just drunk every night, and we had like people over every night, and we were all hammered. So I heard so many fucking crazy conspiracy theories that people believed in. I just don't remember any of them. But there were a lot of insane ones for sure. But yeah, I don't know if my brother and my dad, I don't know how much they believe it or if they do, but they are very amenable to an idea that like the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids and it was like aliens or extra dimensional beings or some shit. That's pretty fucking crazy for sure. So there's one, I guess. But I don't know how much they actually believe that. It's hard for me to tell. Like, they say they believe it, but it's like, if I put a fucking gun to their head, do they truly believe that? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. That's my best answer for you though. But anyway. Moving on. Thank you, Elijah, for the question. Let's see. Oh, we got a super chat from Scooter McGavin. Dude, we got to do more Q&As, Tanner. Scooter McGavin for 10 United States dollars super chat. What is y'all's current KD? And do KD or wins matter more? Also, does playstyle matter? Is a win a win, or is playing slow or rushing matter to you? I don't know what that last sentence meant. Also, you owe us $5.01, because that's 3 question marks I see. If I'm not mistaken. So don't try and fucking scam the scam system, Scooter.
He's trying to scam us. What
you
a
son
piece
of a
shit.
bitch. Well, he is a Mick. I mean, Scooter Mick Gavin, right? You're a fucking Mick. So, of course, you're morally bankrupt. As an Irishman, I would know. Well, let's take this in bite-sized pieces. What is y'all's current KD? No one knows because the KD in game doesn't work, so we have no idea.
I don't ever look anymore. Well, no, it works somewhere. It's the leaderboards it doesn't work or it's bugged. If you look at like your own KD, I think that's accurate. I don't know. I don't care anymore because nothing's public. You used to care about that stuff when you like check lobbies on warzone-stats.gg and see your lobby KD and how
I've never checked then, I guess.
I don't know what mine is, honestly. It probably what it always is. It's somewhere between 2.5 and 3. I think I remember like looking a long time ago when they first added it. I think it was like 2.7 in Warzone. Something like that. I don't know. I have not checked in so long. I just don't care anymore without it being public.
Yeah.
Do KD or wins matter more?
None of it matters. Neither.
I'm more impressed with the high KD than I am someone who just has a bunch of wins and like an average KD, because that just shows they're kind of just play like a pussy and play to win. So I would honestly say usually if someone has like a 5 KD and 600 wins, and then another guy has like a 3 KD and 1,000 wins, I'm more impressed with the higher KD guy.
Yeah.
So that Agreed. I think that tells you that. I think KD matters more, and for me, I don't know. Like, I don't play Resurgence to win. I don't care. I just run around and kill people. And do we win sometimes? Sure. But I mostly just play to kill people. So that's what I care about.
Yeah. Yeah. I have quite literally no idea what my current KD is. Yeah, I would guess it's around 2, maybe. In multiplayer, my KD is probably like 1.2 because getting Orion really ruins your KD.
Yeah.
I have Orion, by the way. The Mastery camo, I have Orion. And I'll take it to MW3, and I'll have Orion and MW3 as well, by the way. And a supercomputer. But in Warzone / Vondel, yeah, probably. Oh, wait, yeah, I remember checking Warzone. It was like 1 point. At the time I checked, this was quite a while ago for Moz. Maybe this was my ranked Warzone KD, or maybe it was just Moz generally, but it was like 1.8 or something. But yeah, Vondel, I would guess 2-ish, probably around there or something. I kind of fuck around in Vondel too, but it's definitely higher than my multiplayer KD for sure. But like every time there's a new gun, I'll use it in Vondel, even if it's fucking trash. Like still actually for the last like 4 or 5 times I've played Resurgence, I've been using the Karak, which is not like a great gun for Warzone. It's not terrible, but it's not like very good. So like it could be higher. But anyway, yeah, probably about it too. Yeah, and do KD or wins matter more? I mean, yeah, KD. It depends on what you mean by matter. But yeah, it matters to me. Yeah, KD, for the reason Tanner explained. If your win rate is 50% and you have a 3 KD versus someone with a 6 KD and a win rate of like 30%, I think the second person is better. And if the second person wanted to win more, they probably could. They just choose not to. Honestly.
They're more
also,
skilled.
Does playstyle matter? Playstyle matters, obviously, but the thing is, if you have a really high KD, they kind of all have the same playstyle. You can't get like a 5+ KD without playing pretty aggressively and being really good also. Because if you play really slow, like sure, that keeps you safe, but you're still going to die to bullshit like everyone does. And if you're not playing aggressively enough to get more kills to counteract the deaths to bullshit you will inevitably get, your KD just won't be that high. So I think a high KD is kind of a consequence of like all the same play style, which is like fairly aggressive. I don't know of anyone who has like a 5+ KD that like camps, for example. I actually don't.
Yeah, at least not in this game. That was really common in Warzone 1 with recon contracts. All of the players, all of the highest win players, they all had like 6 KD or
And
above,
sniping
actually.
was better,
but
too.
it's because they didn't fight people and they just killed everyone long range. Yeah, they didn't really like. They were all really, really good and skilled, but still, someone like Biffle, who has way less wins and probably around the same KD, actually 1,000 times more skilled than them. He just played differently. He doesn't want to play slow like that and just play for wins.
Yeah, and you could snipe too, so they would be getting kills and not be in any danger.
Yeah,
because they were so far away. That's another.
I remember watching.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I remember watching. It was who's the little console rat we hate?
Reed boy.
I remember watching. Reed one
Fuck
time.
Reed boy.
He was
Did not
laying
get
on a
Orion
roof.
first.
He did a bunch of recons, by the way, and he laid prone on a roof for like 5 circles, and he would barely peek up, shoot someone. I'm like, how do people watch this shit, man? Like, he just would not even peek anything because he didn't want to die. It was so boring.
Yeah. So anyway, Scooter, I was joking, by the way, but thank you for the 10 again United States dollars on top of that. Much appreciated, dude. But yeah, what was the next section of your question here? Is a win, or is playing slow versus rushing matter to you? Yeah, I think we kind of already talked about that, but
a slow win is boring. It's uninteresting. I don't even care if I get a slow win. If I get like 5 kills, it was boring.
Yeah, it depends though. Like if we're talking about like the World Series of Warzone, a win is a win. I don't expect you to fucking rush things you don't need to rush. Like I think the best player is just the one who, well, no I don't, because there's so much RNG in this game and we all saw the fucking dock incident. But I think a win is a win generally. If there are actual stakes, if you're doing like a tournament or like you're playing ranked, it's like, yeah, you should just go for a win. You shouldn't rush dumb shit. But generally speaking, in like an average game, yeah, I mean, you should be able, I think you should strive to win and also like be going for kills. Not playing stupid and like rushing everything, but there are extremes, you know. But we kind of already talked about that. But yeah, thank you very much for the $20 super chat, dude. Jason from Frozen in Carbonite, longtime listener, by the way, with a $10 super chat, asks, which Call of Duty operator is the biggest alcoholic / drug addict, and what is their drug of choice? Obviously, the answer is Snoop Dogg right now, but maybe besides him is what you're asking? I'm going to go pee.
It's Snoop and Nicki Minaj, of course, yeah, and she's a weed drug addict, which is the worst kind of drug addict. Yeah, they're big into that for sure. Besides, like, yeah, who from like the original operators would be a little drug addict? Let's look up MW2 operator list. Let's look at some of these operators. See if anyone stands out as a little addict. Luna. Yeah, I don't know. They all seem pretty normal. Rose, I could see Rose being a little addict, little drug addict for sure. Homelander, he's probably an alcoholic. I don't know what he is in the show. I know he's a rapist in the show, but he's also probably an alcoholic. Yeah, it's got to just be Nicki Minaj and Snoop, and they're both big, giant marijuana addicts. Yeah, they're addicted to weed. They can't stop. Weed is a gateway drug. They probably do tons of other drugs as well. They probably do the coke. They probably do the meth. They do all of the things. So, for sure, them. But it's hard to say with the regular operators. They always have too good of backstories, anyways. You know. They're always like they grew up in a small little village in the Philippines. They fought to defend their homeland. Turns out they were also gay at the time.
White males.
So then
those are the drug addicts. That would be the lore. Because people that are gay or POCs are perfect and have no flaws, according to Activision, because they're not real people. They're just unidimensional, like fucking I don't know. Virtue signals embodied. They aren't black people aren't like real people to Activision. They're just like kind of tokens that they use as operator skins to virtue signal, so they don't have flaws. So the drug addicts would, of course, be like the straight white males, because those people are allowed to like have vices and things like that.
I could see
according to
Graves
Activision
throwing
lore.
back a bottle.
Graves. Oh,
Who's the
yeah.
guy that? He's the
guy that like came back from the dead or whatever.
I don't know. Isn't he the guy that like turned on them in the MW2 campaign? And then you fought. He was the one driving around the tank, and you had to like blow up the tank. That's Graves.
I thought he was the guy that was like giving the pep talk in the helicopter or in the plane in the most recent reveal event. I thought that was Graves. The like handsome guy, charismatic handsome guy.
I think it is, but he turned bad in the MW2 campaign. Remember, he turned against them, and then you're playing as like Ghost or something. I don't know. The timeline's all off. This takes place like before or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I can see him being an alcoholic. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, he does turn bad or like turns against you. I remember now. Yeah, I could see him throwing.
I mean,
down.
Verdansk also got nuked, and now we're there in the campaign. So I think this takes place before. I don't know. They don't know. Nothing matters. Nothing makes sense.
Yeah, I could see him in a wife beater after a good long day of wet work.
Of operating.
Of fucking slitting the throats of, American citizens clandestinely, throwing down a bottle of like Jack Daniels and just beating the fuck out of his wife. He's a
Jack drinker, yeah.
Just beating the fuck out of his wife. I could see him doing that.
Yeah. To go back here, because I didn't get to answer the conspiracy theory, there's one thing. It's not so much a conspiracy theory. It's more like people that are extremely religious and have some of those crazy theories all the time. I have one of those that it's this guy I used to work with, used to be normal standard guy, probably like a guy that would tell people like, oh yeah, like I'm a Christian, but he like didn't go to church, wasn't religious whatsoever. So he moved out of state, right? He's gone through some things, I guess, some sort of midlife crisis. He posts these long rambling videos on his Instagram, because I'm friends with him on Instagram. I worked with the guy for like 10 years. Really cool guy, really funny. He'd never been quite all there. Had definitely isn't the smartest guy. That's what I'm trying to say. And he posts these long videos rambling about how the rapture is coming and Jesus is coming back and everyone needs to repent. I would say
that's a conspiracy, yeah.
Right? That's where I'm at. So some people who are religious will be like, that's not like conspiracy theory. Like, that's kind of like fucked up. But it is. It's crazy talk. It's fucking crazy. Wacko. Yeah. It's this, like, he will always say this, like, oh, like, this is happening in the world right now. And, like, they say this in the Bible and, like, the rapture is coming. And if you don't repent, you're going to spend, like, eternity in hell. And he's like, I sat here and I watched this whole 10-minute video because I was flabbergasted, right? And he's talking about all of this, and he's like, I don't think you guys understand. If you go to hell, you spend eternity. He's like, it's not like 100 years. You spend eternity forever. You are in hell. You guys need to repent. The rapture is coming. You need to find Jesus Christ. I'm like, this dude is fucking crazy.
Believe in hell.
He's just out there, man.
Yeah,
so that's probably the craziest thing that someone actually believes.
Yeah,
that I know of.
That sounds pretty goddamn insane. Yeah. If hell was a real place, it would be as scary as that guy is saying, for sure. You burn forever, for all of the time. Like, that sounds awful.
Yeah, but, for eternity.
Hey, obviously bullshit, right? Duh. So, in case you guys didn't know that, by the way. Now you know. But yeah, that's a pretty wild one for sure. But anyway, Jason, thank you again for this $10 super chat, dude. Steel Switch with a 10 United States dollar super chat as well asks a terrible dog shit question, by the way. Should there be different sized operators? Tall, short, fat, skinny, etc.? No, Steel. It's a first person shooter game. Can you think of any problems with different sized operators in an FPS game? Well, obviously everyone would play the smallest operator with the smallest hitbox. Duh.
Yeah, if that's how it works. Because Scum has this. You can make characters like kind of in Scum. And I don't really know how it translates to the actual game. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Wait, maybe you can't. Maybe I'm just thinking of, there are some things you can change, like the muscle. Maybe it's like not, you actually don't change the size of the character.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's like a PvP game, and they have that. But I have a feeling
Yeah, it would just be a hitbox issue, Steel. You wouldn't be able to make... Because either you have a tall operator and a short operator, either they have the same hitbox, which means when you're shooting at the short person and you're clearly missing, you're still getting hit reg. Or they, which is a problem, obviously, or they don't have the same hitbox, which means the smallest operators are just always the best because they have the smallest hitbox or the hardest to hit. That's why you can't do it, unfortunately, in FPS games.
Yeah, Scum doesn't have it. Never mind. They just have some things like you can change the size of the women's breasts or your cock in Scum. That's
Oh,
what you
okay.
can do.
What about
Can't
your
change
balls?
the size of your actual model. No, it literally just makes your dick longer. It
Just
doesn't
the
change
cock.
The balls.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thank you for the money, Steel Switch. Very much appreciated. Yeah, it would be cool, but it's just in an FPS game. It's just the juice would absolutely not be worth the squeeze.
I for sure want character creation in COD multiplayer. I don't think we'll ever get it at this point, but not changing the size of the character, changing the look, what they wear, make clothing, cosmetics like PUBG or something. Fuck, I would spend so much money on that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, which we've talked about. So anyway, thank you, Steel. Very much appreciated, dude. Oh, all right, now back to Discord because you guys fucking hate us. Let's see here. This is interesting from C Slade 318. What is the most heartwarming / wholesome gaming experience you've ever personally been a part of or witnessed? How has gaming impacted your lives outside of the pod? It's an interesting little quest. I'm
trying to think of a personal one.
I don't know if I've seen like a wholesome gaming experience before. I like the question. I just don't know if I have an answer. I've seen I remember seeing a YouTube video of a World of Warcraft wedding for two people who met in World of Warcraft and got married in real life. And then they also did a ceremony with their guild in World of Warcraft. Super nerdy, but that's pretty cute, especially for two people that met in WoW. Like, that's kind of heartwarming and wholesome, you know? But I wasn't there. I wasn't in the guild or anything. I just saw it on YouTube. Is it as good as the 50 DKP minus video of World of Warcraft? Of course it's not. That's the best one. Leroy Jenkins was a staged video, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. Iconic, but staged. The 50 DKP minus was not staged and is hilarious and is the best World of Warcraft video. But that's the most wholesome one I've seen, but I haven't personally seen it or been a part of it. So I don't know. I don't know if I've never personally been a part of anything bonkers
like that.
I've been a part of, personally, a lot of toxic gaming experiences. I create them. I've created a lot of toxic gaming experiences, but I don't think wholesome ones, no.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, speaking of which, one of my favorite things to do lately, when we play Vondel, let's say there's only Vondel quads and we have like 3 people. And so we queue for quads and we just do like random fill. So we get some random kid to join our team. Every single time I do this now, it'll be me, Tanner, Jake, and some guy, right? And especially if they have a mic, I'll do this. But even if they don't, I try to do it every game that I remember. Once we win the game and we're like entering the helicopter or whatever, the person may or may not say something or whatever, and then I will enable my mic and I'll say, "Hey, random fuck 27, congrats on your first win, man." And they always get mad, and it's so goddamn funny.
They get super upset
because they're like, he's like, "Dude, it's not my first." One guy, the last guy I did this to, was like, it's actually like my 500th win, but okay.
Yeah,
man.
it was like
so
700 or some number.
Yeah.
Like you're not good. You don't have that
too.
many wins.
Yeah. It was also
like
a fake number, which was great.
Like you have like 7 wins maybe.
But it's so low key toxic to just be like, "Hey, congrats on your first win, dude." You just assume, you signal to them that you assume they've never won a game before, and you just carried them to their first win. But you're also congratulating them, so it's not like bannable, but it's still super toxic. God damn it, it's funny. Oh, it makes me laugh every time I do it. It's really
Yeah, I have
fantastic.
one of my favorite toxic moments said to me in BO4. I took a picture of it back then. It was on July 21st, 2019. I have it saved on my phone.
That's good.
Shout out to Schnuggles in BO4. He told me,
Snuggles, yeah.
"You need to be killed by a drunk driver, you fucking sweaty loser. Get a girlfriend and go outside." I was married at the time, by the way. Schnuggles then goes on to say, "You're fucking pathetic. It's very obvious that games are your entire life." And then he left the match. It's probably because Raz and I were doing. I remember it was on Nuketown. So what were we doing? What we talked about in the last Patreon episode. We were doing farming. The Nuketown, the BO4 streak setup. We probably had 6 streaks in the air. We probably had a Thresher going for 10 minutes, and the guy just couldn't hang anymore. So he was done.
Yeah, he was real fucking pissed. Yeah, BO4 had a lot of toxicity, which I really miss. I really truly miss that.
Yeah. But it's because PC K-Bam players are toxic and
for sure they're the worst.
They're very toxic. They're miserable people to interact with.
Yeah. And lobby stayed together. So if they got farmed and they didn't leave the lobby, they would continue to get farmed, and the rage would continue to build and swell inside of them.
And we would shit talk and talk to them.
And we would,
like,
of course, exacerbate this issue by saying pissed ? And people would just talk to themselves.
They would talk
as long as we said pissed ? Every time.
They would send 5 messages. And then when we eventually lost after winning like 4 games in a row, we wouldn't say anything and we would just leave the lobby.
Correct.
We would just bounce. We wouldn't give them the sasatisfaction of complaining. We would just leave.
Yep. We would say nothing. We would deprive them of the satisfaction. Yeah.
You know what was funny back then too is like we would be in a lobby waiting to find a match. You'd see our names on the right-hand side. It'd be like me, you, maybe Itchy or someone. Some other group of sweats would join the lobby, and then they would just immediately leave a couple seconds later because it's like they wouldn't want to play against us or something.
I remember that.
You remember that happening all the time?
Yeah.
Yep. They would just like leave and we're like, holy fuck, these guys are pussies. And they were in like a 3 or 4 stack or something. It's like really, and it's because they just want to like shop for an easy lobby and farm. But those were the most fun matches, is playing against the sweaty kids.
Oh yeah. For sure. Yeah, I know. I forgot that there would be 5 stacks that would see a 3 stack and they would just leave. And we would always make fun of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, are you guys serious?
Yeah, it was that one who would always do that?
I don't know if we knew them.
Was it the Spanish speaker?
It wasn't Cubas,
that we ended up kind of being friends with. I feel like Cubas did do that.
I don't think he dodged us.
I feel like he did sometimes.
I think it was usually like random shitters.
Yeah, remember Cubas used to always argue with that other guy who had like a YouTube or like a he streamed to like 10, 15 viewers. Cubas like a year ago was on Twitter going crazy. What was that guy's name? Like still
he was so toxic, the other guy.
He was the most toxic person I think I've ever met.
What was his name?
Fucking wild. I just remember his name was in all caps. And Cubas like a year ago was still bitching about like playing BO4 against his stack or something. Like they're still just pub stomping BO4 on PC. I can't believe it.
Dude, what was that guy's name? Fuck.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I loved that guy. He was one of the most toxic people I've ever seen in a video game. I'm not kidding.
Of shit.
He was and he was really good too.
He was. That's what was unfortunate.
Way more mad. Yeah.
He was one of the best BO4 players, and he was also toxic as fuck.
Oh my god, what was his fucking name, dude? Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never remember, but yeah, he was really toxic. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. God, I used to watch his stream and it was so entertaining. Because he would be like that in real life too, like in his stream. Like even if he's not typing toxic shit, which he did a lot, he would just be saying toxic shit about people in his stream, even if he didn't choose to type
crazy,
it. Yeah, he was like actually that guy. He wasn't just like trolling. Like he was actually a toxic person.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I loved it. God damn it. What was his name? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to find on
I think
Twitch,
he was like Italian. It had like some Italian thing. Oh, was it like it was an acronym, I think. Fuck, no, it was like, I think it was 3 letters. It was an acronym of 3 letters.
Oh, it was like 3 letters. Yeah.
And I remember I asked him in his stream what his name was, and he's like, "Oh, that's not my name, the acronym. It's like something else or whatever."
Yeah,
oh, fuck.
But it was funny. There were a lot
Anyway.
of toxic moments.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
That, yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
So
wholesome
yeah, there's
shit
no
is cringe,
heartwarming
though.
moments here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has gaming impacted your lives outside of the pod? It hasn't. I mean, I don't know. It's my
We
hobby.
quit our jobs. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, that's not really.
That's like pod
yeah,
related.
never mind.
So.
Outside of the pod, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's been if it weren't for gaming, I would have a different hobby. So
You'd have friends. You have a life.
Well,
You'd be cool.
I don't know what I would be doing, but it would be inside a house probably still.
Maybe.
But
Maybe in a
yeah,
car.
I don't know. Nothing crazy though. It's not like I like fucking. I don't know. Like you hear those stories about people who make friends in video games and then they become like the best man at each other's weddings and shit. Like I have friends, like close friends I would consider online, that I've made friendships through gaming that I wouldn't have otherwise made. Quite a few, actually. I would say most of my like friends are like gaming friends actually these days.
Yeah.
But I'm not the type of guy that's ever gonna like, oh, I'm gonna fly to fucking Hawaii and go suck Itchy's cock or something. Like it's just not.
Sounds yummy.
He would love that. But shout out to Itchy, by the way, friend of the pod for sure. But yeah, I've never been that person. I don't need to like see you in real life to like consider you my friend or to like make it real or something. And like some people
Do
kind
like
of
a
feel that
Vegas
way.
trip with some people would be fun.
We should
Just 'cause it's like
eventually
Vegas,
do
actually.
that for sure.
Yeah.
Is
But,
like go to an event and then invite like some Dropshot people there. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to give Cope a hug in real life because he's so
I hope
big.
Cope beats the fuck out of you. God, I would pay to see that.
He certainly
gift
could.
Cope
I don't
10
think
if
he
he
would
beat the
choose
fuck out of
to, but
you.
he certainly could if he wanted.
Yeah, he could beat
Do you
the
think
fuck
you could
out of
wrap
all
your
of us.
arm? You think you could touch your fingers around his body if you gave him a hug?
I don't know. I feel like my arms are pretty long. You have long arms too, don't you? And like abnormally
Obviously
long
we
arms.
could,
Don't they go
yeah.
down to like your toes just standing up?
I have pretty long arms for my
Yeah.
body. Yeah, I think they're like 6'2" wingspan, and I'm 6 feet. So that's weird,
Yeah, I could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Probably figure it out. I could get it around there. But yeah, I'm the same way. Like I've like all the way back, like when I used to game years ago, like from SWAT 4, I have some of those guys added on Facebook still. They have like families now. They're grown ass men. Because they were always older than me at the time. So they're like, they have kids. They've been married for like 10 years. But it's like, I'll never meet any of them in person. But like, I met them that way through gaming. And like, we're friends on social media and stuff. I haven't talked to any of them in a long time now. But yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't really feel the need most of the time to usually like meet people.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but yeah, that's kind of that. That was a good question though. I liked it. Anyways, let's move on here. Steel Switch, would a leveling system for perks be a good idea? How can you see it working in multiplayer?
Yeah, so that's wasn't that basically how the old games worked? You had the pro version of the perks. I don't remember how you
That was like
how
a
you
pretty-
got those versions.
It was a pretty rudimentary version of perk leveling, but it was one, yeah. So like it would be sleight of hand, and then like I think it was like if you reload 500 times with sleight of hand, you get sleight of hand pro. Some shit like that was how you leveled it.
I would be okay with it as long as the first stage isn't really bad, because then it's kind of just ruining the game early on. And then also like you play the game not that many hours and you have all the pro version anyway, so it's like I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of having a perk leveling system.
I
don't know,
of feel that
because it's
way,
not
too.
like a lot of guns I would just never bother to even level up unless I'm doing mastery camo. Like I would never use them. I don't know. I kind of feel like perks is just the same way. I just wouldn't bother leveling most of them because they're either going to be shit or they're going to be good and then become a little bit better anyways. So it's like, I guess maybe it gives you something else to grind for. Like if you like max out all of your perks, you get some special calling card or something. Maybe that would be kind of cool actually. Another reason to grind the game, get little bonuses.
Yeah, if
adds
you
to some
leveled it
replayability.
and it was like for a different type of reward, not like a better perk, but like a calling card, yeah, that's interesting. I think there's something you could do with a leveling system for perks, But yeah, I actually like Tanner's last idea best. Like, if you get like, 1,000 kills or whatever with sleight of hand, you get like a calling card or some shit. That'd be kind of cool. But like a leveling system to make sleight of hand better. So like there's 50 levels of sleight of hand, and each level you get 2% faster reload speed. I think that would be... I actually would be kind of okay with that, honestly, as long as it's not in ranked multiplayer. Because like Tanner said, everyone would get it eventually anyway. And it would feel like something extra to grind for. But it would also be kind of like silly. But it would feel like something to grind for. So I don't know. I don't feel too strongly either way about it, to be honest. But this is a great question from Steel Switch. Yeah. It's an easy answer, but it's a deceptively easy answer, but it's a great question. What holiday comes with the best food selection?
Yeah.
There's actually a couple contenders here. Thanksgiving is an obvious contender. Easter is actually a sleeper contender. Christmas is an obvious contender. Here's another sleeper contender for you, because this is going to be a curveball in the mix, because this is not a dinner item. This is a lunch activity, the 4th of July.
I was thinking 4th of July in my head just now, yeah.
Back-to-back World War champions, undefeated, by the way. That's another holiday that has a food selection, and it's a lunch menu, not a dinner menu. So that's an interesting little curveball. And then if you're a child, you might want to consider Halloween as well, since you get candy. I guess that would technically count. But yeah, what are you thinking?
So I think we have to kind of do this as traditional, because I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, oh, for Thanksgiving, I'm not eating fucking turkey. I'm eating prime rib. So I think we have to look at this from the view of traditional.
Yeah. I agree.
So if we're doing traditional, it has to be Christmas.
Correct.
Because people at Christmas have...
prime rib.
What's the most traditional? Prime rib, maybe like a ham.
A Christmas ham, yeah.
Sometimes some people do turkey for Christmas. It's a wild thing to do, but it's done. So like, to me, I think of traditional Christmas as prime rib. So I would say Christmas comes with the best. And then also Christmas, the difference with that, I feel like Thanksgiving, at least for me, I've never experienced this. Thanksgiving, you kind of just do like the Thanksgiving dinner. There's nothing special in the morning, but for Christmas, especially if there are kids involved, Christmas is a whole ordeal.
You've got
so you
like
have Christmas
cinnamon
breakfast
rolls and fucking French toast. Yeah.
So like my mom would always make like banger breakfast on Christmas, or like we'd go to someone else's houses and do Christmas breakfast there, and then go back home and she'd make a great dinner. So all in all, it's got to be Christmas comes with the best food selection. Of course, Thanksgiving is great if you have someone that can cook a turkey correctly, which probably most of you have not had a correctly cooked turkey, because everyone always dries them out, sticks them in the oven, not enough seasoning, they're boring, they're trash, they're shit. But if you cook turkey correctly, turkey is actually very tasty, very juicy. Get a lot of herb butter underneath the skin, a lot of seasoning, crisp up that outside, delicious. Then you got all the good sides, but the good sides you're having at Thanksgiving, you're generally having at Christmas too. Other than like maybe stuffing or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be getting gravy or stuffing, which are both good. Don't get me wrong. But everything else, like mashed potatoes and shit, you can get that at Christmas too.
Yeah. And the 4th of July, great barbecue, but nothing's going to top the Christmas dinner. That is the best meal of the year. Typically.
I think it's hard to top Christmas. I agree with you. I think the more interesting question is, what second place? Is it 4th of July or Thanksgiving? And I would have to say, actually, hot take, it's 4th of July for me, man. A nice barbecue, because what's a traditional 4th of July food selection? It's a lunch. There's a pool party. By the way, God bless America. That makes all the food taste better. It's our Independence Day. So things just taste like freedom. So that adds a lot of flavor. Something the British would know to fucking nothing about, right? Is the taste of freedom. So you get an extra side of freedom on the 4th of July. But also,
we shoot guns
when we're talking about and the faint gunpowder residue in your mouth is a nice little accoutrement as well. To borrow from the French, which we're allowed to do because we're the back-to-back World War champions, and what the fuck are the French going to do about it? A traditional 4th of July food menu is a solid barbecue. We're talking chicken wings, we're talking burgers, we're talking dogs, we're talking if we're getting Latin, if we're in SoCal, if we're doing a SoCal 4th of July, right? We're also talking Mexican. We're talking carne asada. We're talking fucking tacos. That's a pretty solid little selection of food items. And I would say those are better than the traditional Thanksgiving food selection, which is turkey, which can be, and ribs. Yeah, of course. Don't forget ribs, baby back ribs. And is a solid barbecue better than a solid Thanksgiving dinner? I would say yes.
The thing with the barbecue, though, is you can do that any day of summer as well. And you do that any day of summer. So it's like, it's a good lunch. But no one's cooking a turkey like just because and like all the fixings for it, all the side dishes, because it's such like a big meal. That's sort of true, yeah. Throwing like burgers, dogs, wings, ribs on the smoker, that's like people do that literally all summer long.
You can't get them all at once all summer long, though. And if you're at a pool party, you could get wild and have like a burger, some wings. And that's already something no one is going to do normally. I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Plus, again, it's the time of the year. Fall, winter is just a way better time of the year. So Thanksgiving and Christmas just hit. The weather is nicer. It's nice and cool. It may snow where you live. It's raining. It's cold. It makes those big, giant meals hit diffy,
Yeah. Yeah. And if we're also talking food selection, by the way, we can't forget about drinks. I think those count in food selection. And Christmas also has the advantage of eggnog.
Wow.
And other Christmassy types of beverages.
I always make a Christmas cocktail every year, yeah.
Expensive wine. That's nice, a Christmas item.
Nice little red, yeah.
Yeah, a nice little Merlot, some Screaming Eagle. Yeah. That's like the most expensive wine there.
I prefer Opus One. I usually drink that.
Oh,
daily.
And Opus One. Opus One is like very good wine, but then Screaming Eagle is, I guess, like it's like the Gucci of wine. Gucci isn't actually the most expensive clothing brand, but it's the most popular, very expensive, absurdly expensive clothing brand. You know what I mean? Screaming Eagle is the Gucci of wine, where it's very expensive. And it's also like pretty popular, I guess, among wine drinkers. I've never had it, of course, but my dad has a very funny story about Screaming Eagle. When he used to work for Kroger, he was the vice president of store operations. So, and it's kind of, whatever. It was like the end of the year, around Christmas time. And Sara Lee, who sells like bagels and shit, they have an entertainment budget every year for the executives of grocery stores to kind of basically grease their palms so that they keep putting Sara Lee bagels in the optimum spots on the grocery store shelves so they sell more. And I guess Kroger was one of their best clients. And they had like $30,000 left on their expense account, and if they didn't spend it by the end of the year, they would just lose it. So they like had to spend it, I guess. So anyway, what Sara Lee decided to do was take a bunch of the Kroger execs and themselves, go to some insanely fancy restaurant, and then just buy a bunch of shit, like a bunch of liquor, a bunch of like, food, dessert, all that kind of shit. And I guess one of the things they bought was a bottle of Screaming Eagle wine. And my dad was like, oh my God, it was so good. But he never like bought it himself or whatever. But they're like $1,000 to like $5,000 a bottle. This is if you buy it retail, by the way. So if you buy it at a restaurant, it's probably like $3,000 to $10,000 a bottle or something. So anyway.
Jesus. Was Sarah herself there?
Sara Lee was not there. No, I think she was dead at the time, probably.
Got it.
I don't know how long that brand has been around, but anyway, yeah. But yeah, Christmas has to be the answer. So yeah, great question though. Okay, let's see here. From Nicole, You can choose one potluck-style dish to bring to every family gathering for the rest of your life. What is it? It's an interesting question.
Ooh.
It has to be potluck style, huh?
Sorry, I had to get a little cough out there.
Get a little cough out, man.
Cream corn. This cream corn recipe we use that my mom got from a restaurant. I think it actually started with Chris's mom. And then she gave us the recipe, and then we started using that. That is probably like my favorite dinner side dish. It's so good. I always hear people say like, oh, like I don't like cream corn. I don't know what it is. It must vary a lot because this recipe is delicious and there's no way someone wouldn't like it. It's so good. It's so good. So that's for sure the best. I guess I have had cream corn one other place at a local barbecue place. It's called Gus's Barbecue.
I haven't had cream corn.
And it was
What is the
okay.
cream
It was
made
not
of?
nearly as good as the one we used though. Heavy cream.
It looks good. I've just never had it, actually.
I think I
heavy
have the
cream,
recipe
okay.
saved.
And probably
I should
like a ton of
post it.
butter and shit, too.
I should
I'd
post it in
imagine.
smoked meats just so it's there for you guys. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh yes, here it is. Yeah, just 12-ounce whipping cream. It's cream, flour, butter, sugar, white pepper, fresh
fuck is
Parmesan
white pepper?
cheese. Yeah, it's how it sounds. White pepper. It has a different flavor. It's just like a pinch of it, but I don't know.
Interesting.
And then the trick to it though is you have to use Trader Joe's frozen corn because they have the best frozen corn, and it's frozen. Is it sweet corn? I don't know, but Trader Joe's frozen corn makes it the best.
Interesting.
So it is delicious. That would be my side dish forever, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, mine would be I've talked about this before, but it's like white trash mashed potatoes, and it's this weird mashed potato recipe that my mom's mom had, which is you get like a tray of potatoes and then you put like cheese in it. They put onions to ruin it, but when they take the onions out, I fucking
like
love
green
it.
onion or regular onion?
Regular ass onions, yeah.
Okay.
Which ruins it for me because I hate onions. But when they don't have it with onions, it's really good. But anyway, yeah, mashed potatoes, onions, not like an insane amount, but an amount, cheese, and then a ton of butter, I'm sure, and then the special ingredient, of course, cornflakes, unflavored,
wow.
not frosted flakes. We're not that trashy, but cornflakes to give them like crunch, and it's fucking really good, actually, really good.
Yeah, regular mashed potatoes would probably be my second best.
Yeah, it's hard to fuck up a potato.
You can just make them so many different ways and make them taste so different too. Cheese, milk, butter. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. Some people make them real nice and thick. Like my sister does them that way, usually like really super thick, and then when I do mine, usually make it like a little bit more like
mashed potatoes.
Yeah, mine are a little bit more like sloppy, you could say.
Yeah.
Make them a little more wet, but they're so good every way you make them, and it's just like different. It's like different flavors of it, but they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mashed potatoes are great.
Yeah, mashed potatoes are great for sure. Okay, let's see here. Chaos asks, when will the pod open up annual Obsidian membership options? That's already an option, buddy.
I think he just
someone's
means
already done it. Oh, like open slots?
Open it. Yeah, I don't know. We probably should just up it to 10 because someone will do it.
Yeah, we should up
Let's
it to 10.
see if there are any slots right now.
Should I just fuck around and do it right this second, Tanner?
It's been sold out. It's been sold out since we did it, yeah. And every time we've asked, no one gives a shit.
Slots,
Got it. Did you really change it that quick?
No, but I'm about to right now. Let's see. How do I do it? Let's see.
Just so we're clear, there's no reason for any of you to do it. You get nothing.
Do not go Obsidian unless you want to waste your money. Yeah. It's also been sold out as 4 out of 5 forever.
Wait, is it still showing 4 out of 5?
Yes, because
it must be bugged then still.
Someone wants to be one, but their card, I guess, declines every month or something. I don't know. But yeah,
why is it still showing up?
There are now 5 Obsidian patron slots. So if you wanted to become an Obsidian patron, you can do that for no reason. You do get the
There's no
obsidian
reason to do it.
skybox though in the
Yeah, that could
Discord.
become a little bit more poppin', yeah. And you get the black name. Your name in Discord is above the mods. It's right below ours.
You're more important than the mods. That's correct. If you thought the Damascus Lounge was a nice, swanky place, which it of course is, you ain't seen nothing until you've seen the Obsidian Skybox. It's actually kind of crazy. So, something to keep in mind there. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Cool.
Potato skin in the mash. Yes, I usually leave on. I usually don't take the skin off my potatoes at all. I like it in there, yeah. But again, either way, they're going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take a peek. What was next year?
Yeah, pick a couple for us now.
Okay, Elijah's is probably pretty good. I'll just read the first. He has 2 questions. I'll just read the first ones.
Okay.
Out of everyone you know in real life, have you ever met someone whom you thought could actually be a serial killer?
Ooh.
Interesting.
Interesting little quest.
Serial killer, huh? Yeah, let's think about this for a second. Let's think about the people we both know. I can't picture any of them being serial killer.
How about Cody?
Killers. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, he would be considered a serial killer because I was going to say he would just kill minorities because he's like actually a racist Nazi.
Wild, yeah.
So that would turn into a serial killer, yeah, because he would kill numerous people of color. Yeah, he is an insane person. Very mentally unstable. Now lives in his own homestead in Tennessee. So if you ever all of a sudden see some white guy in Tennessee that killed like 20 black people somewhere, unfortunately it was probably him. He's a huge fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
Never liked that guy.
weirdo.
Pisses me off that some of my friends were somewhat friends with him. They're not anymore, but holy fuck, he's a psycho.
Ben isn't his friend anymore?
They don't talk. No, they don't really talk. Ben was way better friends with his friend that lived with him who got killed by a drunk driver. Or I don't know.
Check
if they were drunk, but he
internal
got hit by a car.
right now.
But yeah, besides that, yeah, I know that. Yeah, she was.
Oh, who told you that?
Oh, I guess I didn't know you, but I knew Gabe did.
Oh,
that was fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got around.
It was worth it. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Great.
Yeah, I could see that.
Great looking. Anyway. Yeah.
Besides that.
Yeah, that both of us know. Hard to say.
I can see Itchy being a serial killer. Like drugging men and then killing them. I can see him doing that.
And then sodomizing them first, of course, and then
of
killing
course,
them.
Yeah,
maybe.
Having gay sex with them and then killing them. Yeah,
gay sex. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, he's just
bad,
a gay.
Not the
He
gay
just
sex,
is a gay
though.
man. Yeah, that's
yeah. He's just a gay man. Yeah, he's a homosexual man, which is fine. He's our friend after all. Yeah, I don't know, though. No, I don't think anyone I know in real life really serial killer. But you know what they say? Every time a serial killer is like arrested, they ask the neighbors and they're like, and the friends, and they're like, "Oh my God, I had no idea."
Yeah.
So who knows?
Always.
You know? You know what I mean?
Maybe Raz, actually.
Yeah, it could be just killing people for sure.
We'd never know.
I don't have a driver's license or car insurance right now, so I guess they'd be in walking distance. But because if I was going to murder people, I certainly wouldn't break the law and drive without car insurance. So anyway, yeah, I don't know.
About my uncle? No. The
do
deceased
I have
one?
family that would kill
I
people?
assume that's like the only one. No, he wouldn't. I don't think he'd be a serial killer.
Or in-laws. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I know anyone. Anyway, whatever. I'm getting pretty hungry, so this is going to be our last question unless we get a huge fucking super chat. Elijah asks, what is generally considered to be the best year of your life? Why was that year so nostalgic to you / special?
Unironically, 2020, COVID for sure. Best time of my life. COVID was fucking great.
COVID went crazy for the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was fun for that. Work became different. It was a lot worse, but it was also better because like for like a couple months, we basically like restricted how customers could come into the store. So it was like basically they wouldn't walk in and we would just help them. And it was a pain in the ass. And also you're not like dealing with all of them like in the back walking around. Like, I don't know. That was nice too. Not having to go anywhere, not having to go to any events. That was great. Just being able to go home and
COVID went bonkers.
Do the pod.
I started working from home too. That was great.
We did the Saturday night pod. And like never an issue like once that in whole year. Like I never had anything to do on a Saturday night because of COVID, the lockdown. So yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah, that was a good year. That was a solid year. Yeah, I've said this before and I will say it again. Every year of my life I like enjoy more than the last year. I still feel like I'm on an upward trajectory and I'm enjoying life more and more. However, though, in the spirit of the question, I would say certainly the most fun year of my life. The most enjoyable, even though I wasn't like in as good of a spot in life as I am now. I had the most fun of any year, my first year of college in Long Beach. Because that was my first time moving out of my house, not living with my parents. Me and my best friend, I hate that phrase. Me and my very good friend, Michael, I was the best man at his wedding, moved into an apartment together really close to the school. And he joined a frat, so we were just partying and playing beer pong like every night. I also took like all philosophy classes that semester, which I shouldn't have done because it's a huge workload. But at the same time, that was really fun too. Like I really loved all my classes. They were so interesting. It was the first time school was actually like engaging and I was like excited to go to class rather than it being fucking a chore. So between like all the partying and shit and just being on my own for the first time and all the fucking drinking and drugs and school being so fucking engaging and fun. Like I like looked forward to class. It was so cool.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was my favorite. That was like the most fun year I think I've had was that first year, especially because we just did so much dumb fucking shit too. Like it was so fun.
I'm surprised you went to class. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a 4.0 in college.
Yeah.
Every semester. Except for one, but it wasn't a philosophy class I got a B in. I got a B or a C in a non-philosophy class because it was boring. Like it was just some dog shit class that was not interesting. I got a minor in religious studies. So I was taking philosophy classes and then a couple of religious studies classes because I don't know why anyone wouldn't take a minor, because to get like 60 credits or whatever, you can take a minor as long as the other non-major classes are all in the same sphere. So I don't know why anyone wouldn't take a minor because like you have to have that many credits anyway. So my minor was religious studies, which a lot of those classes were interesting, but not all of them. Philosophy, I think like all my philosophy classes I liked. They were interesting, but not religious studies. So I didn't get an A in one of those, but everything else I got an A in. I took it very seriously. Yeah. But there was also, I mean, like, dude, like going to school full time, like, yeah, I took 16 credits per semester or whatever. That's like full-time student. But I don't know, man. It wasn't fucking med school. So I didn't have to like study for 60 hours a week. I still had plenty of time to fuck around and still get A's, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
We're answering one more Steel Switch question because it's such a ridiculous and easy answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Steel said, if a fly lands on your food, do you swat the fly away and continue eating, or do you toss the food?
But
are there actually people that will stop eating if a fly lands on their food? There probably are. You're a sociopath if you do that. Just eat the fucking food. I don't care. There could be... So I don't care if there's hair in my food. That's the thing. If I eat at a restaurant and there's a hair in my food, I'm like, oh, this is kind of gross. I pull it out and take a bite. I don't care. It's fucking hair. It doesn't matter. People like that are so weird. Like, oh, send this back. It has the tiniest hair in it. There's probably a shitload of hair in all of your food you don't ever see. You just swallow because it's inside of it. So
exactly.
You're a fucking
and you're
freak
not going to die.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's fine. And by the way, yeah, I agree with you completely. There's also an addendum. Here's the last actual question. This is from... Oh, streamer mode doesn't show the full name. Is this Bates?
Bubbles the Gecko.
Okay. He said, knowing that flies vomit whenever they are preparing to consume a meal to help break down food and make it easier to eat, does that change your answer to the question above? Two things I have to say to that. Number one, I just don't believe that that is real. I don't believe that that's true, that flies vomit on food before they eat it. I don't believe you. Even if that is true, though, sure doesn't. No, don't care. Because a fly's vomit is like... like 3 atoms of fucking material. I don't care at all. I'm still eating it. Yes, of course. You have to be outside of your mind. You have to be the most uppity cunt. You have to be like a duke to unironically be like, oh, a fly touched my food. Send it back. Kill yourself in game. If that's you, there's no way. Yeah, I don't care. If flies pissed, shitted, and farted on things that they landed on, it still wouldn't change my answer.
No. Yeah.
I would just eat it anyway because it's fine. You have an immune system. It's not that big of a deal. So anyway. All right, that's it, boys and girls. Reminder, there are 5 new Obsidian patron slots. If you're wondering what the fuck that is, go to patreon.com/thedropshot. You can read the description for Obsidian patron for all the benefits you get for doing that. Spoiler alert, it's a fucking scam, but it hasn't stopped people from filling all the slots before, so don't let it stop you now, I guess. We will be posting our schedule on Monday, as always, on our Twitter and in our Discord. Join the fucking Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Links are below for everything. Patreon.com/thedropshot. That's the best way to support the show, of course. And speaking of the Patreon, we got some more bonus episodes coming this month. Don't you worry. And they're going to be bangers. I don't know what they're about, but they're going to be good. That's what I can tell you. So stay humble.
Stumble.